So I was at Stetson Visual Services for some time, and I got to start out as a model maker, again, working with Mark. And quickly, he and Bob gave me more responsibility and made me lead model makers on a few shows, and eventually gave me the role of what we call a crew chief, which is a project manager for a particular project. So instead of just being a model maker, I got to move on and direct the crew in terms of what they were doing and building. We got to work on quite a few projects. One of the ones I got to work on that I enjoyed quite a bit was Edward Scissorhands, and this was not my first, but I think it was my second Tim Burton movie. I actually worked on Batman Returns, which was really fun. Tim is a director I kind of respect because he has a very strong visual sense. Anyone knows that they're watching a Tim Burton movie. So I got to work on Batman Returns, building the zoo sequence, which started out with this beautiful zoo model we photographed and then we blew up, which is always fun. And then we worked on Edward Scissorhands, and Edward Scissorhands is really neat because it's a very personal story with Johnny Depp. I think it might have been the first Johnny Depp Tim Burton experience, and it's sort of out of nowhere. It's a complete, it's a very weird, bizarre movie, but it had this incredibly strong dichotomy in imagery, which is the Burton-esque house that Edward lives in, and the incredibly mundane, boring, washed-out sort of suburban neighborhood that he goes into. And the suburban neighborhood, they took a housing tract in Florida and actually gone and made the houses even blander and more boring than they were with the production design, and we got to build an actual model of that whole neighborhood. So for me, it's really funny because I secretly have these desires to make really mundane things and get people to believe what they're seeing. And for me, it was like this incredible opportunity. I get to build a whole neighborhood that looks mundane and boring and fool people into believing that they're seeing something real. So I built a lot of the houses for that. I got to do most of the cars. It was a great experience because it also involved a lovely in-camera shot that's in the movie. Harkens back to the old days of doing effects, but it's a beautifully done effect. When Winona Ryder's character, as an older woman, is explaining to her granddaughter the story of Edward Scissorhands, they go out of her window, and as they go out of her window, they start going over the neighborhood, and it's snowing. Well, that's our miniature in the shot with boxes made of chicken wire full of fake snow that are being shook to sprinkle snow on the scene, and the camera's passing through it, and we're going from live action to a miniature in this very fluid, very, very poetic manner, and go up to Edward's house and start the movie that way. And again, there's nothing beats just doing it for real on camera. For me, that was really a great experience. And like I said, our second time I got to work on Burton-esque shows, and from then on out, I've had the privilege of working on a few after that.
My partner Bob Spurlock and I always felt like we sort of would bid 10 jobs to get one. And we would bid them the way we saw them. We would bid them for the high road. Bob was pretty smart and efficient and economical. And I was thought in our relationship, I was one that would want to take things maybe a little bit further in terms of finish and detail. But the two of us balanced out, I thought, really well. But the work we did all was pretty high end. But that didn't mean we didn't do small jobs. We wanted to do small jobs, and the more we could, sort of keep a crew at about 30 or 40 for the whole building, including the support staff and Bob and me, then we could stay profitable. And we were profitable most of the time. In fact, I think every quarter that we ran the business, except one, we were profitable. Which isn't to say some weeks were tough, but we shouldn't say some jobs were hard. But that sort of hit home because I really wanted to work on Ed Wood. We had done work for Tim Burton on Batman Returns for Mike Fink, and on Edward Scissorhands for Alan Monroe. And I really wanted to work on Ed Wood. And we didn't know how to bid that job cheap enough. We just didn't know how to bid it cheap enough. And finally, Paul Boyington did the work, and he was the perfect choice for that because he was the low-budget guy that was used to doing stuff on the cheap. I thought if he had done it or Gene Warren had done it, there was justice in the world. I really wanted to do it myself. Just it seemed like such a cool movie to work on, cardboard miniatures and tin plate flying saucers and stuff. But Paul Boyington knew how to get it done right, and we lost that job to him.